everyone, and welcome to a behind the scenes look into courageous camera confidence. I've been teaching this course for the last 4 days, and I am so super excited to bring in some of you for today's session, Communicate Like a Boss. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I want to welcome all of my students. Let me see here. Let me get to comments. Okay, good morning, Jessica. Hey, welcome. So, hey, Jess, welcome. So let me ask you girls or guys watching, do you ever find yourself not feeling comfortable going live in video because you think you might sound stupid, or nobody wants to listen to what I have to say? I mean, how will I keep their attention, right? Well, today I am going to be sharing with my students as well as my guests today how to effectively communicate in business online. And so just in case you didn't know, my actual bachelor's degree is in communication. So I love to talk. So I'm going to be sharing some of my best tips with you to help you communicate like a boss on video. So let's go ahead and just dive in. I'm going to be sharing some of the best tips that I've had. For those of you that are in, thank you so much. Love, thank you. I love it too. For those of you that are interested in speaking, one of the places besides school, college, that I learned to develop my speaking skills, one of the places you might want to look into if you're looking at becoming a speaker or you really want to master your speaking skills is I am an advanced Toastmaster. Toastmasters is a really great organization for you to develop all different types of speaking styles. And so what you have to do, because a lot of times people go, oh God, I tried that Toastmaster thing before, Dorothy-Inez, and it just wasn't for me. And so what you have to do is you've got to shop clubs. You've got to find the club that is meant for you, that you vibe with. Some are going to be a lot of retired people who do this for fun and as a way of socializing. And then you're going to find those clubs where they are super motivated and they want to be speakers and they're corporate people, and you also develop some amazing connections. So check out Toastmasters. It's an inexpensive way to develop your speaking skills. So the first thing I want to share with you is that connection is the key. When you come online through video, especially now through COVID, it's so important that we learn how to connect and vibe with people on the other side. I always talk about this little green button that I see when I'm talking, and I always make a concerted effort to look into this button so that some kind of way you feel connected to me when we are talking on video. So, good morning, Shauna. Welcome. So glad to have you as my guest today. So connection is the number one thing you're always striving for. So tip number one is prepare. I always recommend preparing. If you're like me, you're getting a little older and you're starting to struggle with the memory, then what you want to do is have some notes. You can use a teleprompter. There's apps that you can download and use a teleprompter and read what you're saying. But the key is, you don't want to look like you're reading. Nobody wants to watch someone read. So, be confident, stand in front. If you look, like you're going to see me look, I got notes, y'all. I got notes just in case I forget. I got triggers. And I recommend, if you use your notes, don't write a whole big long sentence, because you know what? That puts you into that reading mode that I'm saying don't have that reading mode. So what you want to do is put a trigger. I just have triggers down here that remind me what I want to say. Next is practice your presentation. Pull up your presentation. You know, when I had to present, oftentimes I would put my presentation up on a screen and I would pace and just do it as if I was doing it to actual people. I remember especially doing that when I was preparing for my master's thesis, because that was a pass or fail situation. So it was definitely something I wanted to practice. So if I'm going to speak in front of an audience, and now we're speaking in video, you can still practice your presentation, because what that does is it develops a spark within you and your creativity starts to bounce, versus when you just go and you're like, oh, I got this. I know this presentation like the back of my hand. You never want to have that attitude. You know, that's one of the things that performers, having been in the music industry in the past, performers still have a level of fear. They like having that level of fear because it gives them adrenaline. And so when they go out there, that gives them that spark, that passion. So you want to always practice and invite a level of fear and anxiousness, because it also means you care. This is why I stand up. I've started to stand up when I do presentations, because that gives me energy to bounce around and bring you all the energy when I come on camera. The next thing is avoid fillers. Avoid and so. I still get those sometimes. I found myself, mine is okay. So now you girls can start watching and be like, how many times does she say okay? When I was a trainer in corporate, when I first started out, my coach would actually sit in the back of the room and she would tick off how many times I said a filler. Then when I became an evaluator for Toastmasters, I used to evaluate speeches, and I would sit there and watch, tick off how many times people said because what those become is distractions. People begin, when you start saying a particular filler over and over, if you have somebody like me in the audience, I can't even focus anymore on what you're saying. I'm so focused on, oh my God, Shauna said like 100 times, and I couldn't even focus on her information. So you want to be conscious about fillers. The next thing is going back. I want to go back to presentation. One of the things when you are invited to be a speaker, or you have people that you've invited to join you and you've said, my speech is going to be, or my training is going to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Make sure that you stick to your time. This is why going back to that practice element is so important, because when you practice, you begin to learn, oh, I need 5 minutes on my intro. Oh, I only need 2 minutes on going over the agenda, versus I thought I needed 5. So you want to practice your timing as well, because you always want to honor other people's time. The next thing is practice looking at the camera. We talked about this in the very beginning, is practice. Figure out where is your connection point with your audience. So I recommend having what I call a fake group on Facebook, where you can go live into that area and practice. Learn where your camera is so you know exactly where to look. Do test shots. Also figure out, look at your camera position, the position of your laptop. You never want to be looking down at people. You never want to be looking up at people. You always want to be on their level. And that's even when you're in person. When people come and talk to me, I never stay sitting down if they're standing up, because number one, energetically, there's something off in that. And being the type A personality that I am, we need to be balanced. So even on camera, you want to be balanced. No one wants to be looking up your nose. No one, wants you looking down at them. So always be in alignment with your audience. Shauna said, I love the fake group. Yes. So that's a great way, a great place to practice. The next thing is use your body language. Use your body. Use hand movements. If you're just sitting here and you're just a talking head, nobody wants to stop their scroll for that. Be moving. Be excited. And they're like, man, what's she all excited about? So they want to stop and hear what you have to say. So use your body, but don't overdo it because that too can be very distracting. The next thing is articulate well. Articulate. Don't talk too fast. I've watched people that talk so fast. I'm just like, because what it does is it makes the vibration of that conversation so high that some people will tune out because they're just like, oh my gosh, she is talking way too fast. So have a really nice, even pace so that people can follow, and don't talk too slow, which I can sometimes do. And my friends go, Dorothy-Inez, girl, you need to do a meditation because your voice is just so soothing. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? But you want to have good vocal variety in your conversations online. Avoid using slang and jargon unless that's something that your people that you deal with are used to, or if that's how they talk. I know that the women I deal with, they're like, those are my sisters. Those are my sister girls. So I talk like I would talk to you like you're my best girlfriend. I'm not going to come on here and there's times I'm going to be completely proper. And then there's times I'm just going to be like, hey girl, hey, because that's how I talk to my girlfriends. It is so important, ladies, so important that right now, more than ever, that you are you online, because there's so much noise out here. And if you sound like everybody else, look like everybody else, girl, nobody's going to stop their scroll. Okay, so you need to show up and shine as your most beautiful, powerful, unique self. Next, like I said, use some, vocal variety. Knowing when to go up in your tone and then down. When do you need to talk soft? And then when do you need to get super excited about what you're saying? Okay, don't tell me that I'm super excited to be here. Okay, that tone does not match the word, the language. It just doesn't align. If you're super excited, girl, I want you to be super excited to be here today. Okay? Align your vocal tone with what you're saying and your pace with what you're saying. Because in your vocal tone, you can have impact. It impacts the way people receive. It invokes emotions. So use the gift, this instrument called your voice. Also, you might be wondering, well, Dorothy-Inez, when I feel like using that or ah, what do I do? What do I do when I notice an or ah coming on? You just pause. You just pause. That's all. So simple, right? So next, that's another filler that I just used. So watch your videos without sound. Watch your videos without sound. I know that sounds crazy, right? But watch your videos without sound and then ask yourself, would you stop your scroll for that video? Look at your body language. Are you smiling? Are you moving? Do you look excited, or do you look like, hey girl, blah, 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 blah? Okay, so watch your videos without sound and be open to giving yourself good feedback and also opportunities. I always recommend give yourself 3 compliments when you watch your videos back and one area of opportunity. Because what I know about women is women can easily come up with everything that's wrong with her video. Everything. She can come up with that quick. But when I say, what did you do well? Um, mm, well, girl, you have to start believing in yourself. You have to start learning to look at yourself with the eyes that God looks at you with. When God created you, God was like, it is good. It is good. That's what God said when he created you. And so when you come on and you do your talks, you got to come with that attitude. It is good. I could improve on this one area and that would make it even better. Okay, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Show that the key that develops your skill of communication is showing up. When you choose not to show up, you'll never develop your skill. And that's what so many women do, is they just go, oh, I'm afraid. And so they just don't show up. But how you develop confidence is repeating the action over and over and over. The women who are in this program, every single day for the last 4 days, they have been doing videos. And some of the women in here have said yes to my challenge of doing 21 days straight of videos. Because you know why? It's going to master their ability to feel confident when they show up. Because see, what I know about you is that God put you here for a reason. You are here for a specific call and purpose. And you have to show up because there's people waiting on you. There are people waiting for you, not Dorothy-Inez, because they weren't assigned to me. You were assigned to me if you're tuned in here. But there are people assigned to you, and you must show up. You cannot continue to let fear and its little buddies like procrastination hold you back. Next, let's look at your style. Your style matters. People think, oh, how I look shouldn't matter, Dorothy-Inez. This is how I am every day. Well, girl, this is a part of your personal brand. I had someone today say, hey, Dorothy-Inez, can we talk about personal brand? You are going to see me in 2021. I'm bringing out my image consulting skills. In case you didn't know, I'm a certified image consultant, and that's a big part of where I started my business in 2010. I'm bringing those skills back out because I'm seeing women need to show up more online, and they need to create personal brands so that they can build that know, like, and trust. So if you aren't taking care of you, how are you going to take care of me? That's what that says when you show up and you're not well groomed, you're not looking your best, you've got this really great, amazing brand, photo, but then when I see you on your live, girl, something's out of whack. It's not congruent. So it needs to be aligned. You can't go and have that amazing photo shoot, and that's not how you look on a regular basis when you show up. So your personal brand matters because it's communicating something about you. If you go and you study and you learn about style in indigenous cultures, style plays a big part in sharing with people non-verbally their social economic status, whether they're successful or not successful. Are they, just it communicates. Do they have an attention to detail? Are they wild? Are they flashy? I mean, my style should tell you a lot about who I am as a person. I wear, always wear big earrings. I got this hair, it's always changing. I've got these dots on. That's telling you something. I wear black a lot. That's communicating something. The glittery background's communicating something. Everything is communicating something. What are you choosing to communicate? Because see, communication isn't just about what comes out of here. It's all the other things that are there when you show up. They're speaking something. And so you have to be intentional, not all the time. You don't need to set up everything and, all the time. But a majority of the time, you need to be on brand. And on brand means it needs to be aligned with you. And so when you show up authentically, then it doesn't feel like, I hear so many women, I don't want to do a video because I have to dress up. Well, then, girl, when I see your brand photo and your photos on your with your profile pic, and you don't like to wear makeup, you don't like to, then that's what we need to see. Okay, so that when you show up in your videos and you don't have makeup on ever, and you don't dress up ever, then that's how you need to show up, because then your brand is always attracting your people. So if you show up inauthentically, then you attract in people you really don't want to work with. And we talked about this yesterday, I believe, in my group, in this training. We talked about the importance of showing up authentically, because you don't want to create a tribe that really isn't your tribe. Okay, you want people to come in that have your vibe. Okay, next, location. Location. Where are you choosing to shoot? Because again, it's saying something about you. It's telling people. I'm always looking at people's background. I'm like, oh man, that's a cute painting. Oh man, da da da. Oh, she's here, she's there. So be conscious about where you're choosing to shoot, because you're going to have a viewer like me who's just interested in, where are you? What is she like? Oh, she loves great, colorful paintings. Oh, she's like me. I want to ask her, because these things in our backgrounds, they become, in this world, points of connection. Points of connection. When I'm on Zooms, I taught a class a couple of weeks ago, and women were asking me, Dorothy-Inez, how do you connect with people when you're in a Zoom and there's so many people? Well, you can look at their background. Oh, you've got a cat? Oh, again, that painting. Oh, you love Gerber daisies? And you can chat with them in the chat room. It creates points of connection. So be aware of your background. Also, I've had people, they tell me, oh, I'm a millionaire. Oh, really? You're a millionaire? Well, your house looks a mess. Why don't you have a housekeeper? And not judging, but when you're asking people to invest in your programs and things of this nature, and the only way you know them is through the virtual world. You have to look for points that align with what they say, because all you know is what they say. That's why showing up in video is so important on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, because it helps to build that know, like, and trust factor, because people begin to find these different touch points that verify in their mind, she's real. She's for real. I can trust her. I can give her my most valuable thing, my money. Okay? Energy. Bring the energy. Like I said, if you need to stand up to bring the energy, stand up. Listen to a playlist. If you need to have a playlist, that you put on, like athletes, before they go out there, like I watch my boy Russell Wilson, he's got his bows on, and I know he's got some jams going on in there before they put him back in the game. Okay, what kind of playlist do you need to listen to get you in the game? Okay, do you need to jump around? When I went to Tony Robbins and I learned to, I walked on fire, I had to jump around a lot. I had to get into my zone so I could walk on fire. What do you need to do to get in your zone? Because in 2021, ladies, the world needs you. They need you to show up. You got to be in your zone this year. Okay, so what do you need to do? And then smile. I remember when I first started doing video in 2010, because I've been teaching video since 2010 when it was just YouTube. And I remember my teacher from image consulting school, she was like, Dorothy-Inez, girl, you need to smile. Because I would get so into my topics, and I may not have smiled on this because I haven't been looking at myself. I just been looking in this little hole here. But sometimes I get so engrossed in my subject that I forget to smile. And that might be happening for you. And guess what? Creates a barrier. The people you're called to serve, I don't like her. She looks mean. So you got to start smiling. Start smiling. Look friendly. Look inviting. Speak from your heart. This is another thing that gets me. That's why I said, when you write your notes, just do triggers. Just do triggers. Because people want to connect with your heart. Because it's the energy that we bring that really connects us. We think it's the words and all of that, but it's really the energy that comes from the choice of words, the energy that comes from the vibration that when we speak, it connects us together. Our eye contact connects us. So speak from your heart. That's what people want. There's too much fake stuff going on right now. Speak from your heart and connect with people. When you wear glasses like this, one thing I recommend, if you're going to start doing videos regularly and you wear glasses, ask when you get your new glasses, have them put the anti-reflective. If you can't see, then have them put the anti-reflective coating on. Or what you need to do is you need to make your ring light, like I have my ring light up high. Unfortunately, it doesn't go as high as I need it to go because I'm using a high desk right now. I'm using a standing desk. So what I'm doing is I've actually got my legs spread apart, really wide, like a horse stance here, so that I can go lower. Because if I lift, you see how this comes in? I saw it happening a couple of times when you move. So I try to keep my head in this zone when I'm talking, so I don't, because I know when I lift here. So you've got to figure out when you're, wherever you're going to shoot from, how far do you need to lift that light up so the eyeglass reflection doesn't come in here. I watched someone do a video today on Instagram, and the whole time she had the ring lights in her eyeglasses, and it was just like two rings, and it looked like she had an extra pair of glasses on. Yeah. The glare thing is huge, because what it does is it creates a barrier. If I sat here and let me see, you can still see my eyes somewhat, but she had these circles. It creates a barrier. And this happens a lot. I have a friend who uses magnifiers, readers, and there's no coating on those. And it creates a block. And she's sweet enough to say, Dorothy-Inez, I actually wear the glasses because I hide behind them. Oh, wow. So a lot of women do that, but you're doing yourself a disservice by doing that, because people don't connect with you. So if you need readers, what I recommend, and you know that they have a glare, on them, then I recommend having your glasses off. And then when you need to read, say, let me put my glasses on real quick and let's take a look at this. Okay, great. I'm going to use humor, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And you just keep your glasses handy. Who cares? Be yourself. Okay. Be yourself, but don't sacrifice connection. People need it now more than ever. The last two things I want to say is use people's names. Like I've said, hey, Shauna. Hey, Martina. I haven't said, hey, Martina, because I didn't know Martina was here. But use people's names that are watching. Acknowledge them. But don't spend the whole first. I watched a video the other day, and a woman literally spent 6 minutes acknowledging people and waiting for people to come on. 6 minutes. Okay, you don't want to do that. You've literally got 3 to 8 seconds to capture their attention, and then it just keeps going down. And by 2 minutes, you've lost 60% of your audience. So you've got to have that connection. And then lastly, a fun thing you can do is invite people to join the conversation. If you're on your phone, you can invite them to request to join you on the live. How fun is that? Or if you're like this, I'm on StreamYard, you can do the invite here, click on the invite, post it in the comments, and invite people to join you in the green room and bring them on. How fun is that, to invite your audience to become a part of what you're doing, to ask their questions live? How fun is that? So I hope today you have gotten some value out of what I've taught. I'd love for you, my students especially, put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was today. And I'm going to be looking when you do your videos today, what is your biggest takeaway? I'm going to be watching to see if you're implementing some of these tips that I've given, because I've given you a lot. The girls are like, Dorothy-Inez, you're giving so much in this program. One girl said, my head feels like it's exploding. Well, it is exploding. It's a boot camp. I normally teach this class in 5 weeks, and I'm doing it in 5 days. So anyway, so there was a filler. Did you guys catch that? Did you mark me? So that's a filler. Let me see. Homework, girls watching, your homework tonight is to do a value-based video. And I would like to invite you to share how to effectively communicate in video. Give your top 3 tips to effectively communicate, or your top 5 tips to effectively communicate in video. That is your homework assignment today. You can do it in our group, or if you want to earn an extra 3 raffle tickets, you can do it live on your personal page. Just make sure you tag me so I give you the extra tickets. Today, it looks like the only person that got the extra tickets is Jess. Got the extra 3 tickets for yesterday's assignment. Congratulations, Jess. I loved your video. So thank you so much. So awesome. Thank you, everyone, all my guests that tuned in. If you think you might want to be a part of my next Courageous Camera Confidence, inbox me, send me your email. That way I'll make sure when it's coming out again to reach out to you. This is an amazing content-filled course, because here's what I've learned, everyone, is I've learned we all, for the most part, we know how to show up in video. But let's just be honest here. But what's often missing is the level of confidence that you need to show up super polished, to have an engaged audience. And that is what we do in Courageous Camera Confidence. We go over communication, we go over mindset, we go over content creation, which is what we did yesterday. We went over content creation, your ideal client, and how to create content for your ideal client. And tomorrow, we're going over personal branding, style, makeup, how to show up in alignment, like I talked about, with your personal brand. And then on Saturday, the girls get a little selfie lesson, some of my tips on how to take selfies like a pro. So that's the bonus class this coming weekend. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. Make sure you drop in the comments your #1 takeaway.